This particular story starts in a museum I worked at a few years ago. Museums, if you think about it, are in the education business and use display and activities to teach about something. Visitors can choose to learn or not. In contrast to formal learning, non-formal learning is voluntary, short-term, self-directed, and doesn't have prerequisites. It's driven by curiosity, and visitors evaluate their own learning. Then I went to work at a government regulatory agency with the job of telling people what they didn't want to hear. That adds an extra challenge to non-formal learning. An instructor has to make it as pain-free as possible with a good location, short instructional units, and, if possible, food. Along the way, I interacted with Kansas's environmental groups. At one meeting designed to harness the energies of Kansans passionate about water in the state, nothing happened. The problem was either people didn't know much about water, or that each person understood certain facts about water, but no one had the big picture.
I know about water? Really nothing. Besides the basic rivers, streams, oceans. Once it gets to my faucet, I know it's gone through a chlorination. Is that right?
What I know about water is oftentimes it's fluoridated when we get it through our taps. And I know that it goes to different treatment centers when it leaves us, and sometimes rivers are involved, and other times it's carried from other places. And I don't know this is for sure. I think I heard this once in an NPR story, but I'm pretty sure the water we use goes into the river, and then we just recycle it and clean it up, and then we use it again. And I think one of the things that bothers me about water is that people take a lot of medication, and it comes out in their urine, and then they can't clean it up, and then we get a lot of antibiotics that will make us all sick someday.
I realized that action would have to start with a general overview of Kansas water and current water issues of concern. Once the basic information was understood, then people could better organize to make a difference. Luckily, I thought all this at the same time Kansas State University staff were putting together a series of state water publications. But I doubted that most would read the 7 publications, which is why I thought I could give them an alternative. They could process the information in 2 online modules. They could also read the 16-page publication I developed to accompany these modules. Each was similar, and any overlap would help reinforce the information for retention. Oh, and if people would rather listen than read, I developed a related PowerPoint for on-site use, complete with a script and on-site facilitator guide. A story has a setting, and this one primarily took place at a computer with many visits to places of water. The interrelated sequence, the plot to this story, was ADDIE: analysis, design, development, implementation, evaluation. That's the instructional design process used. The story's conflict? That would be synthesizing a complex topic into a 15-minute starter kit for intended learners, who are not required to view the lesson. Subject matter experts who reviewed it gave the materials a thumbs up. Did learners do the same? Yes. Several individuals did the 2 online modules and said it was easy to navigate, easy to read, and easy to complete. They also said it was succinct, friendly, and attractive. Now, stories have a theme. Would this one's be a success? Perhaps journey's an ending. I think the theme is about wanting to do the right thing. As Jim Mason of the Great Plains Nature Center said, I'll just let Jim say it himself.
Since I know that a lot of people are concerned about water issues in the state, and I have been a long time observer of that as well, going through back to the 70s, and it's a very complicated issue. We have to start looking down the road and realizing what is going to be left, or what we're going to present to our children and our grandchildren, and is that something they're going to be proud of? If I think we can start taking that attitude towards how we or act as stewards of our water resource, that we'll be much better off.